and welcome back to my channel, Helki Rain. If you noticed today that I have a bit of a maple glaze glow going on, that will be because it is currently in the mid 30 Celsius. It's very hot here. I'm just trying to survive, but I have to turn the fan off, obviously, while I'm recording, so that's not a distraction. Anywho, today I thought I would talk about some of my witchy favourites. So, let's get into it. What do I have that I have been loving of recent? First, I think I'll start with books, okay? This was a book that was gifted to me, and I know I haven't spoke about it on this channel before because I got it quite recently, and it's this Plant Witchery, and it's by Juliet Diaz. It says, discover the sacred language, wisdom and magic of 200 plants. So it's kind of a plant guide. So it has all different plants and it's in alphabetical order, over 200, and it will tell you its essential properties, its medicinal properties, its magical properties, and the plant wisdom. Often it will have a recipe that you can try, and I'm just realizing that you can't see anything there. It's so bright. Is that better? Yeah. It offers often comes with a recipe as well. This was gifted to me by Trey's mum and dad, which I was so grateful for. Just a perfect gift. I also really enjoyed the intro to the book. It gives you like not too much of an intro, and so you've got a bit of a read there, and then from that point on it's sort of a reference book. So if you're working with a plant or you're growing a plant or you come across a plant in nature, then you can look it up and see if it's in here. Obviously there's thousands of plants in the world, but these are ones that this plant witch uses and loves and raves about. You can always intuitively get the magical properties of a plant, but it's really good. It also has the medicinal, and sometimes, you know, if you can't tap into the magical properties of a plant, it's always nice to have something you can reference back to. So I've been loving this book. It's like new to my witchy book collection, so I'm glad that it's here, and it's definitely here to stay. It's a hardback book as well, so you know it's good quality. The other book that I have is this Spiritual Tarot, and I've had this book quite a while, a year or so. I picked it up secondhand in Glastonbury. Oh god, I just love this book. So it looks like it's got 3 different authors to it, it looks like. But it's basically 78 paths to personal development. And I feel like it just has such an interesting take on the cards. When I'm sort of pulling cards for myself and I want to dive deeper, like if I'm feeling kind of blocked and I'm like, well, how can I develop from this card? Like, what can I learn? Also, it's just got tons of other great information. So you've got like each card and a good like in-depth, there's always like 2 to 3 pages per card, so you can look up your card as you go, like and reference back to this book. But also just as a read in general, it's great. I want to probably reread it again because there's just so much information in this book. It's just packed with information, symbols, it's even got little bits on numerology and the elements, and then it's obviously got spreads in there, and like just so many tips on working and developing a personal relationship with the cards. And I believe it's quite an old book. Let's see if I can see when it was released. I picked it up for £5 secondhand, so it was a bloody steal, I tell ya. So this was released in 1996. So if, you know, that might be a bit, that's a bit dated for me. And that might be why you've not heard of this book, because, you know, it's pretty old. I think I would struggle to come across this in a new bookstore. Honestly, I love it. It's probably one of my favourite. It's definitely my current favourite tarot book. But I have quite a few tarot books and I love them all in their own ways. My witches, my tarot readers that watch this channel, you know that you never stop learning from the tarot. You can never be complete in the knowledge. It's such a open realm of knowledge and intuition. So I love this book. Highly recommend it. Let's see, do I have any books on my Kindle? I read a lot on my Kindle, especially now I live in France. You can imagine that's the worst thing about living here is one, not knowing the language, not being able to speak to people, and obviously over the years hopefully I can pick up more French and it won't be such a problem, but language has never been my strong point, so I'm not so fully confident in that. And obviously when it comes to like reading, especially novels and stuff, it's very like personal and intimate experience, so I just can't imagine wanting to read much for joy in French. So I can't go to bookstores here, which is just, it's kind of heartbreaking in a way. I used to love going to bookstores. It was one of my favourite things to do with a friend. Me and Trey, we often feel a bit bummed out by the fact that we can't go to bookstores here anymore. And there is this like technology and bookstore that we go to when we want to get a new game or something. And they just have all these books and they have a massive tarot section. And I'm just like, damn it, like I can't buy any of these books. And the decks, they have so many decks, like beautiful decks, but they're all in French. And I guess with the decks you can work around it more, especially if it's tarot. But if it's oracle, like you kind of want to be able to read the guidebook and stuff. I've become a huge fan of the Kindle for this reason. So mostly on my Kindle I'm reading romance novels. That's my thing. So it's not really a witchy favourite. I mentioned like a romance novel series I read that was the Tarot Academy, and it was still like a romance novel, but obviously it's based in this world that's all magical world that's all based around the tarot. So that was like perfect for my last like witchy favourites. If you've not checked out my last witchy favourites, I'll put it in the iCard and you can go check that out after this. I don't think I have any witchy novels that I've been reading, mostly reading romance, and I haven't like dived back into a witchy romance. I think the most magical thing is what I'm reading right now, which is a Peter Pan retelling, and that was called The Never King, and I'm loving that. I'm on to the second book, but still I don't really recommend here in this context because I don't know if you love romance or not. But let's move on to the next favourite. Just know that I've been reading a lot on the Kindle. Hopefully next favourites I'll have a witchy suggestion. As you can hear in my voice, I am not 100% well yet. The garden is too hot for me to be really out there harvesting teas and stuff. Like honestly, it's so hot out there, and with me not being 100% well, like I just can't be out there every time I want a cup of tea, which I normally would. Tea bags have become my new best friend, and this company is called Yogi, and they honestly have the best range of teas. I believe they're all organic. Yep, they're all organic. Organic is called bio here. This one is delicious. It's for immune strength. God, there we are. It's delicious. It's got echinacea and lots of other stuff that's in French that I'm not sure what it is. But yeah, this is delicious. It tastes great and it does make me feel pretty good. I don't want to open one just like for the video, but each of the tag has like a little loving message on it. So the little tea tag, it's so cute. It'll just have a different message on every tea bag that you can like take with you today, like love yourself and gratitude, but it's an actual proper little message. What was my one today? I think it was something like laughter is the same all over the world. So cute. Tarot decks. I haven't got any new tarot decks recently. I didn't get any for my birthday or anything, and I haven't felt the need to buy any. I've been very focused on the garden, and I've been reunited with all my decks that I left here, and I've not felt the need for buying new decks. But the deck that I have been loving the most is my Crystal Visions. I don't have the box here, but this is the Crystal Visions. I've got a walkthrough on this deck. I'll put that in the iCard if you want to have a really close-up look at this deck when I'm doing readings for myself, and also when I've been doing readings for people on TikTok. Definitely find me on TikTok if you've not. You'll find me as Helki Rain there, and I offer free readings there sometimes, so it's definitely worth checking out. But here you can see a little bit of the art. I just love this deck so much. I don't know what else to say. I've just been really loving it. Normally I'm pretty much nearly 90% of the time right away, all the way fangirl. I've really switched to this one. This is probably one of my favourite decks other than the Ride Away. I love these 90s decks, and I love this size, this classic size of deck. I love this kind of playing cardstock that shuffles really good, and it's just so fluid and easy to use. The cards come out really clear and precise. So the Rider-Waite deck that I have at the moment, I love the aesthetic of this deck. I love the backs, and I just love the colour, the way they used colour in this deck. But the cardstock is a bit thick and a bit shiny, and it just doesn't shuffle as well, and it feels more big. You look, it's much thicker. I still use this deck a lot, and especially when I want to use Rider-Waite imagery, because my intuition works best with Rider-Waite imagery. That's probably another reason why I've been sort of more drawn to these. They're both by my bedside, and just really loving the Crystal Visions, and I've just been feeling that fairy energy. It's like fairies and dragons in this deck. It's really fae vibe, and I've been really down for that vibe lately. Very fairy vibes. And if you've not checked out my fairy video that I recently posted, a fairy vlog where we went hunting for fairies in this magical woodlands where there's a magical stream, fountain. So definitely check that out. I'll also put that in the iCard. That was such a fun day. I have been using this, and this is actually Trey's, but he doesn't use it, so I started using it. And this is Dragon's Blood Sage, I believe. I use this to cleanse myself and cleanse my altar and call in my dragon guides. So just honestly been loving this. It smells so good. Definitely, I think the base of it is sage, but it's been dipped in dragon's blood, and yeah, I've been loving that. This is a little pot of sand, so always good if you're using any kind of smudge stick that you want to have a pot of sand aside that you can put that in, so that you're staying safe while you're smudging. This is placed on my altar, and every time I activate my altar, I'm always using this lately, or I'll use Palo Santo or my other sage smudge, but this has been my go-to, so definitely made it to the favorites. So this was a birthday gift. I recently had my birthday, and this is a little apron, and it's a gardening apron. And by the way, Trey, my partner, got me this. So cute and so thoughtful. It's got this little embroidery on it. It says Helki's Garden. How freaking cute is that? Not the best place to show, but yeah, you just sort of wrap it around like that. You can see it's really cute, and you can keep your tools in here, and you've got pockets here as well. So tools and seeds and anything that I need to keep with me in the garden, it's so handy. and I absolutely love it. So thank you, Trey. I think that's so cute. And especially since you've been seeing on my channel, I've been sharing more of my garden journey. I am, becoming a real gardener. It's always been my dream. People who've been following me for a long time will know that I've always said that's my dream, to have my own garden and grow my own teas. Slowly getting there. The garden was a wild forest pretty much, slowly turning that into a garden. My last favourite is not that witchy, but us witches, we need to be healthy, all right? And us plant witches, right? We need to be consuming our plants. So a really good way to get like loads of nutrients and protein through our plants is through sprouts. And sprouts are just so cheap, so affordable. You can buy lentils, you can buy any kind of beans. Well, just check that they're beans that you can sprout. I don't think you can sprout red beans, but you can sprout like chickpeas, and you can sprout most beans, I think, but just double check. You can sprout lentils, you can sprout seeds. There's just tons that you can sprout, and basically once the seed has sprouted, then basically it's become living and it's packed with so much more nutrients than it would be if you was to just cook the lentils on their own or the beans on their own. It's packed full of nutrients and protein. And I was just doing it in a bowl, but as another gift I got from Trey for my birthday, I got 2 of these cute sprouting sets, because I was doing sprouting anyway, but this just makes my job so much easier, because if you do sprouts, you have to rinse them out with water like 2 to 3 times a day and drain them out, obviously. This little jar is perfect. It's got this mesh top, and you just fill it up. You don't need to fill it up much. You just fill it up like that much with lentils, and then it will fill all the way up to the top with sprouts by the time it's finished. And it's just brilliant. So you fill it up with water, rinse it out, and then just let it drip out on this cute little tray. And I think aesthetically pleasing, much more than a bowl with a tea towel over it. So yeah, really love this cute little sprouting kit that I got, and appreciate it very much. That's everything for my witchy favourites for the time being. I'm sure I will see you again on another witchy favourites. Please do subscribe. I really appreciate it. Also, it would be great if you want to support me further. You can buy one of my readings. I do numerology readings and tarot readings, and I'll leave a link down below to my Etsy shop where you can find those readings. And also listen to my podcast. It's awesome. We cover lots of magical, metaphysical and conspiracy-like content over there, and we post quite regularly. I think we're on episode 21, 22 right now. Definitely check those out. I'm wishing you a magical day or night, and I will see you soon. Bye.